subject ICT, right? Then we all know that we can do ICT with any of the subject streams, languages, arts, commerce, and everywhere. Then the problem here is when we are doing ICT, especially the danger for the subject ICT is with the people who are doing science subjects, maths. That's my experience, right? Then when it comes to the arts people as well as commerce people, so they are performing well in ICT than these people. The main point here is ICT is a logical subject. Then for maths people, even for people who are doing logical subjects, this is perfect. But you people are not performing well. The reason is you feel that compared to the other two subjects, you use combined maths as well as physics. Then what you experience is these two subjects are too heavy for you. Then you are dedicating more on these subjects. Later on, you may give a certain low priority for ICT, so that you will be getting very poor performance in ICT at the moment. But when we are explaining things, when we cover things, you'll get things perfectly. But you don't work on it, therefore you are not ready for the subject well. So then in that manner, I'm requesting you, people who are doing mathematics, be careful with the ICT subjects. So then work or give equal priority for ICT as well. If so, you will win this game. The other danger here is, positive point for you is, if you are performing well in ICT, say that you got an A pass. I believe that these two subjects are highly complex. Yes. Then, due to the complexity, if you get at least 2 C's for this, I'm thinking about the worst case, right? And if you have ICT for A, then definitely you can get into a better university finally. Right? So therefore, especially for the people who are doing mathematics, I'm telling you that perform well in ICT, that may be a key point. So you may work on this, right? If you can get 3 A's, that's perfect. That's excellent. But uh, at the same time, I'm requesting you not only with the other subjects, perform well in ICT. If you get A for ICT, your Z score is going to be a very big value, and definitely you'll be selected to a better university. Even for the other people, so arts, commerce people, compared to the other subjects, ICT may be quite complex as well as in the equal level with the other subjects. Therefore, I know that you are performing well. Even my history, so I'm doing ICT from the first batch. 2011 is the first ICT syllabus in our A levels. From there onwards, I'm continuing guidelines for my students. During that time, I find that all the students during my history who are doing arts commerce are performing well. So even in my history, the people who have obtained A passes, more A passes are from these two streams than this. That's what I'm telling you. That so for the maths people, be careful to perform well in ICT. If so, that's your winning point, right? So keep that in your mind. Another better thing to be considered. Right now, when you're going to go for uh, the subject, what I want to say is the ICT subjects, as I given in the printed version. So we have 13 chapters to be covered. Right? Then no need to explain what those chapters. You may not know about it. What about your O level, Pute? Are there people who did ICT for O level? All did, except again another point. People who did ICT for O levels, another issue. Right? The thing is, especially when you are doing our first chapters, the chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Please turn your pages and see what they are. Right? In the fifth. Then these chapters might have known to you already. Well, somewhere in the page, at the middle page, right? The first page is talking about, I'll talk about later. But we'll go to the middle part, the middle page. The first 3 chapters, now here we have the summary. So concepts of ICT, then introduction to computer, data representation, fundamental digital circuits up to then, right? So if I go to the detailed version, concepts of ICT. So we are covering data information, then what are the benefits of ICT, then whatever the analysis of activities, OCR, OMR. Now, if you can remember what you learned in your O levels, these may be quite new, not new to you, right? You might have heard about it. That's the other problem I'm telling, that when I'm teaching to the O level students who have done ICT for O levels, again, when we are covering this, you feel that, you, sir, we have done this already. Why are you telling them again? What a boring, likewise. ඕක තමයි ඊළඟ කෙලවෙන point එක. හරි. So then these concepts are deep than the O-level concepts. Same ideas, fine. So then when we are covering the basics, then we have to take you to the next level. That's the advanced level. But the problem is when you hear the term OCR, OMR, then your mind will go away and you may not concentrate well. So the specific point that the examiners expect will be lost from you. And again, the next red line goes for the people who did ICT for O levels. When you're doing ICT for A levels, be careful, be in alert. So my advice is try to be humbly follow the lessons. Think that I know next one about ICT. Please, I want to learn things. If not, okay, right. That's it, right? Then I don't want to talk about the syllabus now. You may keep this with you. Then when you are following the lessons, you may find that we complete this area. This area, likewise, you can have a certain guideline what it is, right? Then again, I don't want to talk about much more. Now, simply I'll just tell you the value of ICT. No need. We have selected this thing. So I'll just skip that part, right? Okay. So then, yes, in my coverage, I'll just telling you that the things when I'm doing lessons. So we have 13 chapters to be covered. So then when you finish each chapter, when you go for each chapter, what we do is whenever the chapter is finished, we are doing all the papers, past paper questions. And then during the lessons, we are doing the questions depending on the situation. Sometimes, especially, there are computational lessons available. Just like since you did ICT volumes, I just tell you that the numeric values are there. Then we do many more questions in it, logic gate path, even the database path. We have many more drawings to be done, ER diagrams and many more things. So we are doing many more questions, while at the end of the chapter, the past papers from 2011 are to be covered. Right? And then that will prepare you to the exam level. You may understand what the exam level, depending on the questions we do here in the lessons. And also have the revision class. So let's finally, the paper preparations are also there when the exam is getting closer. So we'll do timely papers. Now these days we have started that for the 2025 people. Then now it will be another 2 hours. Another I may prepare a 2-hour paper. So you are doing that here. And after that, once you do the paper, whenever it's a 2-hour paper prepared by myself with the level of the exam papers. And then you are doing that paper by taking 2 hours. As soon as you finish it, we are starting the discussion. Right? So whatever the concepts in the paper you wrote, we are discussing them. Then you may understand the weaknesses you did, what are the weak points likewise. For the moment, no need. When the exam is getting close, you understand the value of doing papers. Right? Since you did O levels, you know it. Right. So then that's fine. Right. Then further, yes. Now in this manner, we can continue our 2 years coming from here, starting from this point. Then one more thing I want to advise you is simply whenever you work properly. Now, one other thing, right? Normally, doing or getting ready for an exam is a separate art. Right? It's a separate art. Sometimes, according to my history, I know that I'm a experienced teacher. So I know that there are skilled children. Perfect. Sometimes you may be like that, right? When I'm teaching things, you are getting things perfectly. And when you're doing questions, you are doing them quickly as well as accurately. Fine. But at the exam, sometimes you may get a C pass. Sometimes you may get a B pass. You may not get A. Since you are not trained to do the papers. There's a problem. Correct. Right. When you consider about sports, there are skilled people, right? Other than having continuous training, they can't improve. Same. So you need to be trained focusing on to the A levels. You may be skilled. Hey, if you don't have the training, you will never reach an A pass. That's the problem. But on the other way around, there are people who are not skilled. දැන් අපි අර skilled අය කියලා කියන්නේ කවුද? We just mentioned that අර අපි ක්ලාස් එක ගැන අර නිකන් පයිතෝ කියලා කියන්නේ දක්ෂ ළමයි කියලා කියන්නේ clever people, right? So clever people means what I see is they are high capacity people. They are performing well, right? Then whatever their feature is, whatever they hear can be detected quickly and they can act on it. But most of them are not like that. Most of the people are slow. They are not high capacity people. Then even the slow people, majority are like that. When you go to the slow people or the ordinary people, if they train well, they can reach the A pass. But skilled people, if you don't train, still you'll end up with B or C. And everyone I'm telling that, get the training properly, work well, otherwise you'll be lost. And anyone here. This is separate art, separate point. Right. If so, we'll start the chapters without taking much more time behind the background. Right. Then our first chapter. Normally, in my way, when it comes to my teaching, the first two chapters, chapter 1 as well as chapter 2, are covered continuously, right? I don't break these two. So simply, they are the basics, the introductory part. We can continue that. Then in our explanations, chapter 1 and chapter 2 is the introduction to ICT. Right, that's a part. Now, there what we say is what ICT in the technical point of view. Right? So regarding the technical point of view, how ICT is applied, how ICT is being used. Then this idea, when it comes to the introduction of ICT, ICT stands for information, communication, technology. Right. What is that? Information. What is information? I don't want the deep concepts, simply what information are. Information are just, I may say just news. I just get a certain news. Now there's a bomb blast in Candy Town. It's news. Isn't that information? We get some, so then that's an information, fine. Sometimes we said, so your all results will be released in the next month. That's another information. Right? Sometimes say that, so your A-level exam will be on August, likewise. So they are news. Sometimes we may get some facts. Right? So different facts are there. Simply say that the population in Sri Lanka is whatever the amount. I don't know. Say that, don't know. That's not a news. That's a fact. So then they are still information, right? We know the population is like this. Last year, the population is like this. There's a growth here. They are information. Likewise, information means any news, any fact, any whatever the thing. So then they are, that's what the information is. Then next thing is communication. What is communication? Communicate. Are we doing a communication now with you and me? Yes. And what the communication means? Exchanging of ideas or views. So what I know is going to be told to you. And sometimes you may question me, right? And under communication, just exchanging ideas and views. Right? So then that's going to be communication, exchanging things. What is technology? technology means? Making things easier. Technology. Now, we have, what is that? We have vehicles. Is that technology? Owning. So vehicle make our traveling much more comfortable, right, and faster. So we have, what is that, water heater? Heat water, we just plug it and start it. That's also technology. You know, technology is making things or make things easy. Now that's a concept behind technology. Then replacing these words with this, that will be ICT. What is that then? ICT means information communication technology. That means it's a way to make things easier regarding exchanging our ideas and views, facts. So the information are news, facts, or else we can say views, whatever the view I have. They are going to be exchanged, right? So then, as I said earlier, now you and me, there are two parties. So whatever I know, this is me, is going to be. Now, when it comes to our physical presence, what's going on? Do we use any technology in it? No, no. You physically traveling here to the place, I am traveling here to the place, we are just having our discussion. Then no technology at all. People who are joining online, what is the story? They use comfortable methods, and a technology in order to exchange what I know is going to be taught by, learned by themselves, the facts, news, everything. And now, ICT is that. Now you got an idea, right? Easy ways of exchanging our facts, views, ideas, everything. Then when this is going to be regarding our ICT, when you use video conference, isn't that a result of ICT? Simply. On the other way around, I'm using web pages. Simply, I want to know the currency rate today. I'm going to know about a certain fact. If I want to know the currency rate, I have to go to the bank and check it. It's a manual method. But using a web page, I can check it at any time from anywhere in the world. And now, these are some applications of ICT. To make these practical, I may use smartphones, isn't that? I may use mobile internet. Further, I may use laptops, then wireless connectivities, wired connectivities. All are supporting this ICT. And ICT is not one thing, collaborative connectivity of all these. I have smartphone, internet connectivity, the laptops are there, even softwares are there, even the web pages are there, the printers, scanners, cameras, all will combine to fulfill this requirement. And we can't say ICT is one thing, the connectivity of or the collaboration of all of these. That's right. Then that's the technical idea behind ICT. Right? So the things what we are going to do easy manner, what is the thing in order to exchange our views and ideas. You got idea. Right? We'll just write a small note behind this. This is just to start our chapter. Telling that ICT, right? Information, communication, technology. ICT, information, communication, technology, right? They will like a very small brief, right? Really, we don't need this into the paper, but just to start that up, right? They will like ICT. It's considered as ICT is considered as ICT is considered as easier, comfortable, easier, comfortable methods in order to easier, comfortable methods in order to exchange, in order to exchange views, ideas, facts among two or more parties. Among two or more parties. Right. Example, checking, checking the account balance with the help of, with the help of smartphone, comma, banking, application banking app, comma, mobile internet, right. One other example, learning online with the help of, with the help of camera, video conferencing software, internet, computer, speaker. Now you got the idea? You got it. To continue online learning, that's a comfortable way, right? We don't want to travel, no waste, nothing is there. For that to happen, we need these technologies. And as I said earlier, ICT is not one thing, a combination of all. We can't say having a smartphone only ICT. Right? So we need to have the connectivity. We need to have the corresponding software. So all of them will make the ICT. Right? We like finally after the examples with the star we light. ICTs, ICTs with the star we light. After the examples, ICTs, the combination of ICTs, the combination of many more technical, ICT is the combination of many more technical objects as listed above, including, including computers, networks, software, hardware, fine. On the idea behind ICT. Now this is a background, what ICT is, the whole concepts, right? Then really ICT is the way it's an application. Okay, forget about it. Now we are moving into the next part. Uh, Something like this. When it comes to the field of ICT, especially now we are focusing on the syllabus, right? In the main subject ICT, under the first chapter, we have two keywords to be covered called as data as well as information. Most of you have heard this in your levels. What is data? How to define data? Just when it's your level. Data defined as raw facts and figures. Right. What is information then? Eh? Process data. එකත් හරි කියමුකෝ. හරි. Then how do you go in deep? Now, when it comes to data, there we use the word raw. Right. What is raw? English? Everyone knows that. Raw means. Forget about data. We'll go to something like this. Raw fruits. We'll go to fruit. I don't know how to draw that, right? Raw fruit. What is the meaning of it? Raw fruit. The opposite of this one, ripe fruit. Which one is consumable? Ripe one. Then raw is not consumable. A. This raw. The raw facts means, are they consumable or not consumable? Not consumable. That's the idea. They are available as it is. That's the point. Now, when it comes to raw data, they are facts, as I said earlier. So that 25, 90, they are facts. They are figures, sorry. They are values. Then these are raw. Why we can't use them? They are not consumable. Right? Then when it comes to ripe, that means when they are prepared, as you say that process, now they are in a usable manner. That's called as information. Right? So, now, data are raw. Raw means not prepared, not made. When we go for raw data, right, they are the ones that now we said that data means data may be ideas, views, facts, figures, anything. But all have to be raw. That's the idea. Okay. Then when it comes to a raw idea, mostly they were the ones that you hear as it is, that you see as it is. Now, as an example, so that I just look at this room. I found a certain chair. One leg is broken. I just see the incident, right? Then I'm writing a text telling that there's a chair with 3 legs. I just saw that and found it on 3 legs. Yeah. Then I'm writing one other sentence then, don't sit on the chair. There's a chair with 3 legs. Okay. Then I say that, hey, don't sit on this chair. What is data in it? 2 sentences. What is data? Chair with 3 legs. That's raw. Do you understand what raw is then? I just saw it as it is. I didn't do any work on it. Then next I said, don't sit on this chair. What is that? Is that what I got through my eyes or ears? Or did I prepare the earlier value with my brain? With my experiences with brain, I found that if someone sits on it, he'll fail. Then I'm writing the statement. I'm telling that don't sit here. Is this raw or processed? Prepared. This is raw, what I saw. You understand that? That's the way how you break these 2 levels. Some other point. Suddenly we are in this room. We got a big sound, weird sound. We got a sound. Next example, right? A big sound. Then I'm telling that don't go out. What is raw thing in it? Hearing the sound. I heard it. I didn't do anything. I just got it. Then I apply my knowledge and say that don't go. It may be danger. Be here. That's the simplest idea how data, how information are going to be separated. So the conclusion is, if you people as individuals can get anything through your input devices, now my eyes, my ears, even through the skin, I can feel things, right? Now I feel that it's too cool now. And that's something I feel. Chronic. Then I'm like, turn off AC. That's going to be information, the impact or the result. Right? Then perfectly, now as people, we have 5 input devices. අපි පංචේන්ද්‍රයන් කියලා කියන්නේ. Eyes, ears, nose, we can smell, right? So then with that, whatever you get are called as data. They are owning. We just get them. Then we can process them. That's our general knowledge. But when it comes to the computer, it would be quite different. But this idea, how to determine raw as well as process things or the results. Raw කියන එකයි results කියන එකයි process කරන්නේ කොහොමද? Then the next thing that I want to say is when it comes to the computer now. Hari. Now, earlier I said about people like you and me, whatever we can get. Now we'll see the computer. Then for the computer's point of view, data are the things that they receive. Am I correct? අපි වගේමයි. Whatever the things received by the computer as it is will be raw. Computer will get things. After that, computer will process them, like our brain. In the early example, our brain acts as the processor. Then the available computer, you people know that CPU, softwares, many more things are there. They will work on what they receive and prepare results so that those results are called as what? Information. Now you are clarifying those two. As an example, I'll go to now this is a traditional example that everyone knows, even in your O levels. We'll go to a mark sheet. Mark sheet of company, okay. Then we see the maths mark is going to be 70. Then the science marks, I may say 80. And ICT marks, I'll put it as 60. Then we can prepare a total, telling that here 2, 1. Then I can get the average. 210 divided by 3, make it as 70. Say that I'm going to get these works done with the help of a computer. Hari. If so, what would be treated as data? These, right? These values should be put into the computer. Then with the available softwares and the CPU, these values can be prepared with the mathematical operation. This is a known example for everyone. Now you understand why we consider them, right? In your O levels, you learn them. You just your data information. But now you know why we consider them as data. That's the depth we need in A levels. Right? They are the values we provide into the computer as it is, just like what we are getting. Smell එකක් දැනෙනවා වගේ. Computer will get the feeling through the marks we inserted. After that, they'll be processed, prepared by the CPU, and make the results called as information. You understand that thing? They are very clear to you. Now, okay. Right. We'll just have a small note behind this. Then I'll take you to the next level, right? The next subtopic is data versus information. Under that, right? Data versus information. Right. Well, right? Data versus information are the two, data versus information are the two main, keywords are the two main keywords. Applied into ICT. Hare, we like the first keyword, data. With a star we like data, and with a hyphen right, what it defines, right? Next keyword with a star we like data, with a hyphen right, data are defined as, data are defined as, data are defined as raw facts and figures. Raw facts and figures. So that's the definition, right? Data, wherever the question is there, you may define that as raw facts and figures. That's fine. Then after that, we write still under the data on the next line. This is the definition. You, if possible, you may highlight that, and then we'll explain what this concept is. Sorry, raw facts and figures. Under that, we'll write the next point under the data. Whenever the values, comma facts, comma views, whenever the values, facts, views are handled as it is, are handled as it is, without, are handled as it is without any, without any extra performance within brackets, right, row, without any performance in brackets row, comma, comma, they are treated as, they are treated as data. They are treated as data. They are treated as data. Right. Next point. No, we'll go to the next keyword, information. Now data, that's enough. Then we'll go to the example. Next one, next keyword with the star light, information. Right. Under that, we write information are defined as, are defined as, information are defined as the processed, information are defined as the processed data. Processed data, process ed, right? Past tense, processed data. After processing, whatever the data will be getting the information. I'll just ask another small question. Among data and information, out of these two, which one is results always? Data, the information. Information. Why we call this as results? We prepare the data, 3-leg chair, work on it, and make a decision. And information are always results. Data are always raw. They are the two keywords. Right. Next point we write under the information. The other point. Information are always results are always results. Enough. Full stop. We'll underline the word results there. Results, that's a keyword, right? Always results. Right. Then I will go to an example here. Example. Consider a mark sheet. Consider a mark sheet of a student. Consider a mark sheet of a student. Right. Then shall you take this mark sheet? Take it quickly, right? Here, maths, science, ICT 60. Total is obtained. Then average is obtained. 210 divided by 3. Right. After calling these values, you may label what data, what information are. Then first three are going to be what? Data, the information. They are going to be data. You may label like that. And these are going to be information. And at the same time, you can label this as these are results. Ne? On the other side. And these three are raw. They are going to be raw. Why? They'll be absorbed into the system as it is. These data, these are information. Clear? Then you like further. Now, they are the two definitions, right? Now, for our understanding, I'll just go further explaining about data, right? Data, data are the things that are retrieved to you through our 5 input devices. That's the human data. Ne? With respect to the computer, data are the things that are retrieved into the computer through their input devices, through the mic, through the keyboard, through the camera, whatever collected will be raw for the computer. A computer will not process them. That's the idea. Right? Then after the processing, it may make results. They are going to be the information. That's a realistic idea with respect to ICT. And I will like further another point after this example. No need to explain this, right? You understand these are raw, these are results, and information and data. No need to give any detail. We like further when we like another point or star when facts when facts comma values when facts comma values are inserted when facts comma values are inserted into the computer facts comma values are inserted into the computer within bracket row insert within bracket row, right? That's row ne? Close brackets through the input devices comma it is called data. You understand that? They are raw, so they are going to be data. And after preparing them by the computer, the results are made, given out, which are called as information. Simple idea. Right? We like the next point. Again, next star. The above data are processed. The above data are processed and prepared to produce results by the CPU, comma, softwares, which are called as information. Now I think you are well aware with what data information with respect to ICT as well. The general definitions are these two, but with respect to ICT, we have to use a machine to prepare them. Whatever collected raw will be data, whatever prepared and giving are called as information. That's clear, no idea, no issue. Right. Then the next point. Uh, when it comes to uh, the data and information, okay, can we treat data are meaningful or meaningless? Okay, information meaningful or meaningless? A meaningful can. Why do you say that as meaningful? Information are meaningful. Okay, why do you say it's meaningful? Information are just available in our surrounding, or we make them by force. We make them. Here we have the computer. We'll adhere to the computer. Data are collected and we do some processing, then only the results are made. Now, these results are made for a certain purpose, objective. And is this going to be meaningful or meaningless? Meaningful, sensible. That's why we do this. But early thing, I saw a chair with 3 legs. Then with my brain, I just come to the conclusion, don't sit here. That's a purposely done work. It's a meaningful. Then information are meaningful. Data what? Meaningful, meaningless. People who did ICT 4 levels, what do you say? Meaningless. Okay. Now, the early example. Uh, our maths marks is 70, science marks is 80. Then we can get the total. So by adding these two, we get the total 150. This 150, data or information. Information, meaningful or meaningless? Meaningful. Right? These two are data. Right? Maths marks, science marks. You all agree with this as data, right? Data. Meaningful, the meaningless. The meaningless. Your parents asking, Uday, what is your maths marks? 80. Meaningless, ne? 80. You understand what I'm saying here? My maths marks is 80. 80. Oh, easy is having a meaning in it. When someone says that my maths marks is 30, you are proud, ne? Odo, but we have a certain pride, right? Then if it doesn't have any sense, do you have that pride? Aru 30, 70. We have to have a sense there. Data, meaningful and meaningless. Data meaningful and meaningless. In O levels, you learned in that manner, right? Information are meaningful, data meaningless. You write them into the answers as well. Want to kill you anything? Why didn't you have that arguments with your teachers? Me example එකම ගත්තනේ O level. ලස්සනට note එක තියලා ඔලේ පෙරලා බලන්න ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා. Data meaningless කියලා ඉරි ගහලා තියලා ඇති. එයි මේ meaningless වෙන්නේ මේක meaning එකක් තියෙනවා. ඔන්න barrier between O levels and A levels. හරිනේ. So then O level තවත් එකක් කියන්නම් ඔන්න. Now you did O levels thing. OL stands for ordinary level. ඒ කියන්නේ it's a level where the students are checked for whether you are in the ordinary level. Ordinary නිකන් ඕක manageable එච්චරයි. A level කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Advanced level. ඒ කියන්නේ අන්න දැන් තමයි case එක. Advanced. Now, not ordinary. You may get through your O levels. You are ordinary child. That's okay. Whatever you hear can be recognized. You can write things. You can prepare an official letter. You can do something with the computer on ordinary level. Advanced level you are going in a specific pathway. advanced. Then you have to go in deep behind these concepts. That's what I'm telling, that whatever you learned in your O level is not enough for your A level. Okay? People who did ICT for O levels are dangerous kids to do ICT in advanced level. Hey? You said, I use the data information අපි දන්නවනේ. අය කතා කරන්න එපා. මම ඉන්නක මනෝපාරක් ගහගෙන ඉන්නවා ක්ලාස් එකේ. මේ මේවා දන්නේ නැහැ ඊළඟට. හරි. So I said, be careful. හරි එන්නකෝ දැන්. These are meaningful. These are meaningful. There's a doubt, contradiction. Now, with respect to the computer, I'm giving you a figure telling that 101. Here's something related to the computer. Is this data or information? I just tell that with respect to the computer, I found something like 101. Will you treat this as data or information? Data. There are no evidence to say this as a result. It's data. I'll agree with you, fine. Is this meaningful or meaningless? Meaningful or meaningless? One will say that this has 101. Can't you say like that? 101. Another person who did ICT for O levels says that no, it's not 101. Since it is in the computer, this may be in binary. This is going to be binary 101. Binary 101 in decimal is key. 6 5. We'll do it. Even we have that in our A levels as well. That's another idea for another person. One other says that, this is 101 in the computer. No, this is not binary. This may be a digital signal handled by the computer. Something comes from the internet through the router, encoded, processed, and this may be some network signal. Can't it be believable as well? Also believable, right? This may be a network signal. Computer is digital and running everything in ones and zeros. Then on this, we can have different viewpoints. We can say these likewise. If so, is this meaningful or meaningless? Meaningless. There are many arguments. We don't know which one to believe. Hey, that maths marks 70, science marks 80. Do we have much more arguments, or are they firmly telling what it is? No issue. That's why we said they are meaningful. But this has a doubt. And this is meaningless. Don't know what it is really. And now, what is the idea behind data? Are they meaningless or are they meaningful? Can be both. Some of the data are meaningless, some of the data are meaningful. That's a perfect idea. And now, for data, they are meaningless or meaningful. That's a perfect concept. When it comes to information, are there information in the meaningless manner? No. Information are we made it. No issue. They are meaningful always. Right? Then this is a point. Information are meaningful, whereas in data are meaningless or meaningful. Hope that you are clear. Right? Then this is another important barrier among these two. You should know this to answer MCQs. You know about the level of MCQs, right? They'll give a question, which of the following is a true statement? Data are meaningless. You people are just marking meaningful or meaningless. Right? So therefore, be careful with these keywords. Very sensitive, especially in our A level paper. Are we light again with the star? With the star we light. Information are results. Information are results. Information are results. Always. Information are results. Always. Which are information are results always, which are meaningful. Underline the word meaningful. which are meaningful. Next point, data are raw data are raw which can be meaningful or meaningless. Which can be meaningful or meaningless. Right. There will underline the word meaningful or meaningless. You may underline this. For information, you may underline that meaningful. Right. We'll write examples behind these 2 points. Now I'm just emphasizing the focusing areas, right? Example will say that AVG, comma, tot, average, comma, total, are, average, comma, total are meaningful, always, are meaningful always. This is right information. Are meaningful always information. While the subject marks, within brackets, right? Maths 80, science 70, ICT 60, are meaningful data. Are meaningful data. Still another example we'll write further. Value 101, value 101 in the computer, value 101 in the computer has no meaning, which is a meaningless data, which is a meaningless data. You're clear, right? A very important key point. Then further, another known thing, right? You people know that data, the association between data as well as information. How can the information are prepared with data? You know, data will turn into information. What comes in the middle? Process. Then after processing, after working on data, you may get information. That's the flow. The direction is very important. Data comes here, do the processing and feeding them into the information. Then this entire representation is given a certain definition that is called as abstract model of information. So it will say that how the information is being made in our computer-related environment. So that's called as abstract model of information. Right? You can just to learn that sometimes in your first paper or second paper, they'll ask you to draw this, construct the abstract model of information. Then you should know that that's the model representing how information is being prepared with data. On the other hand, we can say that this is the association between data and information. What is the association among them? So I want you to introduce this. Otherwise, you know this. Correct? But we write with a star abstract model of information. With a star, we write abstract model of information. Enough of writing. You know, ඉවරක් නැද්ද? තමයි. Abstract model of information. There we write with in front of that we'll say abstract model of information. There we write is defining the association is defining the association between data and information. Association between data and information. හරි ටග්ගල් මේක දාගන්න sketch එක. Data, process, information. This is what the abstract model of information is. හරි. That's fine. This okay for you, everyone. Then we are going into another important area, which is there in advanced level. You didn't do this in your O levels. Right? When it comes to data, how to define data? Raw facts and figures. Then whatever the data, the keyword is raw ne පුතේ. This raw data are in two types. Data are in two categories. One is called as quantitative data. Other one is called as qualitative data. Quantitative as well as qualitative. Now these, you didn't learn that in your levels. Data are in two categories. Quantitative and qualitative. Very simple, not a big idea. Then this is with respect to data always. What is data? Raw, not processed, they are not prepared, raw. Whatever you hear are data. They are in two categories, quantitative and qualitative. Just simple. What is quantity? English? Quantity. Countable. Quantity means amount. Quantitative data means countable data. It's a data where we can measure it, count it, how much exactly it is. That's the quantitative data. That mark sheet. My maths marks is 80. Science marks is 70. Then we got the total as 150. And now here these two are data, quantitative or not. Measurable, right? Maths 80, we have a certain count. Then science 70, we have a count. And these are quantitative data. We can measure it. Very simple. So that I'm measuring the room temperature. It's 24. Data or not? Thermometer 24. Data. Quantitative or not? Quantitative, measurable. Right? So there are 20 people in the class. Quantitative. Right? So likewise, quantitative idea means it's a data, still it's going to be data or raw value, which is countable. Simply we can say that which is measurable. We can measure that through a scale. This is the exact value on a quantitative. Next one is qualitative. What is qualitative? English. Quality, but not countable. And what is that? It's an uncountable data. Means I can't count, but it's data. Right? So what is that? They are still raw, like earlier, but not countable, simply not measurable. Are there data which are not measurable? What are such? I just look at the sky and say that today sky is dark. Sky is dark. Is that data or not? Sky is dark. Data than another. Chair with three legs. Data. What I saw through my eyes. Sky is dark through my eyes. Got it without any processing. And is this data or not? This data. Is this giving a quantity or not a quantity? Sky is dark. How dark is it? Can you measure that? Count it? No, we can say that dark. Okay, it's right. But don't know how much it is. And this type of data is falling under the quantitative category, where we can't measure it exactly, but we know what it is, which is raw still. Then I'm telling that now say that Nimal is a good student. I'm telling that Nimal, oh kahunda kolla ulan. Is that data? I'm just telling that, right? I'm a teacher. Then in the school, I know that Nimal is a good student. Is that data or not? Is something data about an appreciation? I didn't process it. I just tell that. And I make a qualitative, the quantitative. Qualitative. Can't say how good it is. Right? So then this idea behind the quantitative and qualitative. So data are in two categories. Now this is another critical point in our exam questions. They will give you some values and asking which one of them are quantitative, qualitative, likewise. You have to separate them. Sometimes they'll give you a certain incident and ask you to extract the things. Like as there are concepts, but first of all, you may know what these two in detail. We light again with the star. We light with the star. We light. Data are in. Data are in. Data are in two categories. Data are in two categories named as. We'll go to points. Name as part A, quantitative data. Part B, qualitative data. Quantitative data, qualitative data. Right. Then you like the subtopic quantitative data. Quantitative data. Right. They will like quantitative data are still raw facts. Are still raw facts. Are still raw facts which are countable, which are countable or measurable, which are countable or measurable. Underline the two words, countable, measurable. Underline, countable, measurable. Examples. Examples. We like maths marks 80, science marks 70. Maths 80, Science 70. Another example, room temperature. Room temperature is 24 degrees of Celsius. They are countable. Right. Then part B, qualitative is qualitative data. Qualitative data. The light is also a raw fact. Is also a raw fact. Qualitative data is also a raw fact, which cannot be measured or counted. Which cannot be measured or counted. Underline the word not counted, not measured. They're the keywords, right? Not measured or cannot be counted. Right. Examples, color of the sky. Example, color of the sky. Another example, impression of a student. Good student, bad student, likewise. Impression of a student. Quality of a vehicle. Right. So then these are going to be the two categories, quantitative as well as qualitative. Right. Now that's about the data. Then we go to the next level regarding the information. As you all said that information are results always, and they are meaningful even. They are results, they are meaningful information. In that point of view, information are results, meaningful. Now, something like this. I'll go to mark sheet again. Since it's familiar to you, I'm taking this always, right? Maths marks 80, science marks 70. I'll take English marks as 60. Then I want to calculate the total. Right? So since I'm very poor in maths, I'm getting my answers like this. This is 0. This is 240. 240. Then I get my average. 240 has to be divided by 3. I may get the answer as 10.0. What are data here? Subject marks. එහෙනම් මේ තුන් දෙනා මොනවද? Data. What are information here? These two are information. We made them using these three values. Then are these information correct or wrong? When you add these three, is that 240 or different? Different, it's not. Is this information or not then? Make information then add. Information තමයි. But the way I got that, the available information is not correct. You understand that? Now don't get confused. ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි කතා කරා meaningful and meaningless. So then data can be either meaningful or meaningless. That's fine. Information has to be meaningful. So when you get average, that's meaningful, the average marks of the three people. That's fine. Other logic here is this value is incorrect, not accurate. It's wrong. But still, it is playing as information. We got them in this manner. According to my poor maths, my calculation is wrong. Even in this case, is it still information or not? Information. But wrong. If you get information in that manner, will you treat this information as a good information or bad information? Bad. A, not accurate. Now, that's the other idea. When it comes to information, the results, those can be a good information or a bad information. What do we prefer? Good or bad? Good, bad, no need. We know we need the average, but in a better manner. Now, if the information is to be good, what are the features we expect in it? If the information is to be good, it has to be accurate or inaccurate. Accuracy is very important. Accuracy is very important. Information has to be accurate. The way you do the computation should be perfect and make the accurate result. Is that all? Another point. When it comes to this mark sheet, say that normally mark sheet is prepared by which teacher in the school? Subject teachers, the class teachers. Class teachers. Say that my class teacher is a maths teacher, A-level maths teacher. Good at maths. Then, other than calculating the average, he or she thought of calculating the Z-score value of the children in the class. Then get the Z-score of this child as something like 1.02, something like that. Then that class is giving Z-score to the children. Then when you go home, you're asking, your parents asking, what about your performance in school? What about your average mark? 1.02. You don't get any average. Now, in our school level, we expect the average to be maintained, not something else. This is also fine, good, but not relevant to the situation. If it is the case, will you treat this as good information or bad information? Bad. Good. Accuracy is fine. It may be accurate perfectly. Not relevant to the situation. Still is not going to be good. If the information has to be good, what should it be? It should be relevant to the purpose, related to the event. Right? Now further, when the average marks are prepared, sometimes due to a certain mistake, the class might take the subject marks of the last term, not the current term, and keep comparing the total and the average. Is that good again? No. Now, what is the issue in it? Accuracy problem, relevancy problem, or timeliness issue? Timeless, the information prepared is not according to the current timeline. I want this term, not the previous term. And that's also another parameter to be considered regarding the good feature of information. That should be to match with the correct timeline. We can't say up to date always. Sometimes I want an outdated, older average marks is required. Around 3 terms ago, I in the average mark. Then I want to go for the correct timeline. Use the word timeline. In your O levels, you learned it as up to date or something like that. I don't know whether you did this or not. Somehow, you people are familiar with the word up to date. Not up to date. Timeline is a keyword. According to the correct timeline, we need the values. Maybe today, maybe last year. Timeline. That's another one. So likewise, we need to cover some features of good information. If one of them are not there, we mention that information as bad one. Hope that you are clear. Right? So then this another thing, we have some more, we'll see that relevance. Yes, we'll go step by step, right? Otherwise it will be boring, right? We like with the star. Again. Information are meaningful. Information are meaningful. Results. Information are meaningful. Results. Always. Information are meaningful. Results always. Information are meaningful. Results always. But it can be, but it can be a good information, but it can be a good information or a bad information. It can be a good information or bad information. Whereas, whereas good information, whereas good information are expected. Good information are expected. Right. Then you like the next point. Some of the features, some of the features, next point, some of the features of good information are, some of the features of good information are, we'll go point by point. First point, accurate. Accurate. I think no need to explain that, right? You know, information has to be correct, accurate. Next one, relevant. Next feature, relevant. Relevant. Still, you know that, no need to explain that. It should be relevant to the purpose. Next one is match with timeline. We'll say like that. Next point, match with timeline. Match with the timeline. Right. Then another important feature of good information is reliability. Reliable. What is reliable? Reliable is another highly used word in ICT. Reliability means ගොඩාක් ළමයි වරද්ද ගන්නවා. Reliable කියපුවම you just map that with accuracy and many more things. Reliability is a separate feature. Reliable means trustworthy, trustness. The specific information has to be a trusted information. What is trusted? Now, say that this mark sheet is prepared by the class teacher. Right? Forget about this is it score whatever thing. That's not there, right? Right. Now, say that we got a news. The class teacher was sick during the last week. So he or she was in the hospital. But the mark sheet is releasing. She has to give the mark sheet, otherwise other classes are complaining. Then we found that the mark sheet has been prepared by the child of that, or the son or daughter of the teacher. Right. Teacher කරන්න විදිහ නැහැ ඉස්පිරි දාලානේ. Then sometimes said that. So that child may be in grade 8 or somewhere like that. As soon as you get your mark sheet, what will you do? Do your comparisons again and compare with the other people, right? Why? The information are there, but do we trust on it? No. Why? The source we got is not a trusted source. You understand that? Then when you get information, the reliability of the information is very important. Right? The best example. Now now forget about that incident. You people are preparing this mark sheet, say that you input your AKPA, something like this. Okay. We'll go to what is it, supermarket. Hari. There in the supermarket, you collect your items into the trolley. Hari. Then go to the counter. Then at the counter, they use barcode systems. Everyone knows about this thing. Then those people are just scanning the barcodes and finally prepare the bill. Then they said your bill is now, these days bills are very high, and he said that your bill is somewhere like 9,500. Once you get it, will you go into a corner and check that Sabang price mecharai, book price mecharai, then you add them and check that. Oh, as soon as you get the bill, without double checking anything, you get the person and give the money. Have I said that you go to the fair? Then in which manner they'll prepare the bill? They say a certain amount, right? Then sometimes you may question me. How much is that beans? How much is the potatoes? Then you do complain. That's the total, like total amount to be paid is an information. You agree with me? That's a result, right? That has to be computed and getting it. But if they are being done by a computer, that's a good information. That we don't double check it, no need, it's reliable. But if it is done manually, that's not a good. Why? The source is not reliable. There can be mistakes happen. And so then, on the other way around, when you check your balance in your online banking, the banking system says that your balance is this. If you check transactions, do we need to check your transactions previously? No, balance is this, not that is perfect. But if these are done manually, then they are not. Now, what I want to say is reliability is one another important feature for good information. We have to get that information from a reliable source. Then that's good. If not, we are doubt, we have to work on it again and not sure about it. That's one other feature, right? We like the next feature as reliable. You wrote it with a hyphen. We'll say what it is, right? Reliable will explain that since it is quite new to us. Reliable, we'll say that reliable is the trustworthiness of the information, is the trustworthiness of the information, so that the information has to be generated, in a reliable, trustworthy manner. In a reliable, trustworthy manner. Right. And reliable means trustness, right? So you must emphasize on it. Reliable can trust. Then one other feature. It should be understandable. What is understandable? The information you gather should be readable, understandable to all of us. Other nice, nice story, right? Say the class teacher is a language teacher, French teacher. To show her colors, she'll prepare the mark sheet in French. Give it to the people. Maybe accurate, up to date, but not understandable in that manner, right? So then we have to keep things in an understandable manner. Otherwise, the information is not good. Very simple point. Right? The other feature is completeness. We need to get the complete set of information, not halfway. That's another good feature. Right? So take them as the features of good information. Understandable as well as completeness. Right. Then that's about data and information. Right. Then hope that you are clear what we said up to now. Now I just did this quite slowly. Simply telling that we define what data, what information in detail. So data were told as raw facts, information are processed information. And then this can be meaningful or meaningless, whereas this can be meaningful always. And data can be quantitative, qualitative. Information can be good or bad. So good information should have those features: reliability, accuracy, understandability, completeness, likewise. So the other works we covered, and you better have the idea with examples as well. Then I think the things are completely clear to you. Right. Now, another area telling that golden rule of information. Golden rule of information. This is another theory. Still, you didn't cover this in your O levels. This is regarding information. That means raw or results. Upon results, right? Information are results. So after processing, we get results. So onto these results, we define a rule called as golden rule. This golden rule defines about the value of information. The specific results you made have a certain value. That's what focus on the golden rule. Now, as an example, when you get your average marks in the class, does it have a certain value? Right? If your average marks, if your place in the class is quite high, then you are comfortable. It has a value. And with that, sometimes you may claim things from your parents. So then that has a value, right? Otherwise, if it doesn't have any value, why should they award you gifts? It has a value. Right? On the other way around. Now, when you go to supermarket, you get the total bill, as I said earlier, right? The items. Then does it have a value? It has a quantity. That's another thing. 14,000 bill, 5,000 bill, 2,000 bill, likewise. Forget about that. That information has a value. I know that I have to pay this much. Right? And sometimes, if it is an unexpected bill, now these days, the festival, people celebrated, other people are celebrating. Then when you go to a clothing shop these days, right? Sometimes you may collect clothes. Then you are impatient to see your bill, right? Isn't that? When you go to the then once you get that, right? Likewise, now that's also a certain information. We are impatient, right? Then that has a value. The big story. Whenever now you have did your O levels, right? Then O level results are on the way. Right? What about your O level results? Is that information or data? Information. Why? When you think of the examination department, now they have to evaluate your marks. Teachers are doing so. And for each paper, a mark will be allocated. And finally, those marks, you know that those papers are marked in different centers. Sometimes your maths paper will be marked in Matal area, whereas your science paper may be somewhere Goal, another paper in Jaffna, Trincomalee, likewise. The papers are going here and shuffling then. ඊට පස්සේ each and every marking station is preparing the mark sheets. Those should be collected by the Department of Examination and matching them. This index number, this is the maths mark. This index number, this is science marks. And preparing a mark sheet. So final O-level result is that data or information. Information. When you think of the Department of Examination's point of view. Right. Then once you get that information, does it have a value? Yes. Right. Sometimes you may get unexpected results, right? I got you. Normally, in your O levels, right? I said that O level is ordinary level. Ni. Now, especially this is applicable for the majority people who have not worked very hard in your O levels, right? Touch your heart and understand whether you are a person like that. Now, for the sake of your parents, you are doing it. Ne? What A level, O level, පාඩම් කරන්න දඩේ වර මෙහි phone ඔබ වෙන්නේ phone එක උදුරගෙන then you are putting into the room and get keep seated in front of the table then mother is දැන් පාඩම් කරපන්. එහෙම වැඩ කරන්නේ මොන්නේ ගොඩක් ඉන්නේ. හරි. කොහොම හරි කමන්නේ if you are a moderate guy where you didn't work hard I am predicting your results. Right? Sometimes you may expect somewhere like say that you expect 2 A's and then 6 C's or 6 B's. එච්චර හොඳ නැහැ. ඔව් 6 B's වගේ ගන්නකො නිකන්. And 2 C's or something like that. Or 3 C's or මොකක් හරි. You just expect a result like that. Right? But what my prediction is, for these people, you may get a higher result than this. Definitely. Than what you expect, you may get more. That's the whole level. Ordinary level. They'll check whether you are in the ordinary level. So when the papers are marked, you people heard about it in your O level. Teachers have told it. Now, if your answer is quite justifiable, they'll in favor of the child's point of view. ලකුණු දෙනවා. හරියටම හරි නෑ, but if the answer is manageable, they'll give marks. That's all level. So in that manner, you may get quite higher results than what your real result, what you expect. Now this happens for the moderate people who didn't work well. Okay, opposite එක වෙනවා who worked well. If you work well and expecting 9 A's, sometimes you may drop 1 or 2. හොඳට වැඩ කරපුවාට ඒක අනිත් පැත්ත වෙන්නේ. අර පිස්සු කලපෙවුන්ට එහෙම නැහැ. හිතුවටදී රිසල්ට් එක. ආවට පස්සේ වෙන්න සීන් එක එතකොට. ඔඩ මම මේ බලහන්කො මම මේ නිකන් මෙච්චර හිතුවේ නෑ මම ආවිලානේ. ඊට පස්සේ ඔළුවට එනවා මොකද්ද සීන් එක? මම පොරක්. වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ නෑ මට රිසල්ට්ස් එනවා ඉතින්. ඕක තමයි concept එක. ඕක කෙලව ගන්නවා A level වල. A level වල නිකන් ලකුණු දෙන්නේ නෑ ටීචර්ස්ලා. If your answer is not up to the point, no marks will be given. No කතා no සිනා right? O level වගේ අතින් ලකුණු දීලා පාස් කරන්නේ නෑ. O level ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ අපේ කාලේත් අපේ ටීචර්ස්ලාත් කිව්වා. මම O level marking එක දන්නේ නෑ. දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 74යි නම් if the A pass is given in 75, they'll somehow try to give 1 mark and put you in A level. එහෙම කළා ඒකක් කොහමද අරන් දීලා තමයි පේපර් එක රිලීස් කරන්නේ. එහෙම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට O level marking වල දෙනවා. A level දීපු දේ නම් ඒව නෑ. ලකුණු 74යි නම් they'll check whether we can cut 1 mark to deduct 1 mark. එහෙමයි marking scheme හැදෙන්නේ. හරි. ඒ අන්තිමේදී බලන්නේ whenever they mark each and every question, they'll mark exactly matching with the marking scheme. If not, no marks will be allocated. Then you will be with strict marking in A level. Ekhanda, people who get unexpected results in your O levels think that this is a gift for you, not to say that you are a bright student. Right? Bright I don't use the word bright here. You have not worked properly, but without working, you don't get results. It won't happen in A level. Right? Forget about it. Then what I want to say here is regarding our point. Whenever you get your O level results, we understand that simply O level result, exam result is an information. We'll all believe it. Then this result, does it have a value or not? It has. Hari. Then what is that value? How much is it? Is it measurable or not measurable? Not measurable. Value එකක් ගැන කියන්න බෑනේ. I got 9 A's. Then you are proud about you. I get 10 A's. So 8 A's. Fine. Likewise. Then what about the value with respect to your results? At the moment where you hear your results, will you get a higher value or lower value? Does it have higher value or lower value? Higher value. Hey, whenever the TV announced that, so tomorrow night, midnight, all your results will be released. Then your heartbeat increases. You're impatient to see your results, right? Then as soon as you get the message, the results are released, you are waiting to check that. Wherever you are checking it. Sometimes you are not in a place where you don't have internet. Then you ask someone to check. You are impatient. Then that means it has a higher value at the very beginning. Then say that after releasing all results, you spend around 6 months of time. After 6 months, what about the value you had on your same result? Is that same like earlier? Oh, value is dropped. Dropped. Then you don't have that. එහෙනම් ඕනම එකක value එකක් තියෙන්නේ at the time you access it, at the time it is released. After that, the value is reducing. Now, this is applicable for information as well, told in the golden rule of information. That's the background I want to explain. Right? Now, under the golden rule of information, they have said that this is the timeline. This is the time. And decide the put of information. Then, according to the time, this may be the time where the information had been released. Results had been released at this moment. Then at that time, what about the value of the information? Very high. Then after some time, will the value remain same or will that value reduces? Reduces. Then the golden rule says that the value of information reduces over the time, and after a certain time, that value will remain the same. So that this may be, O-level is this may be somewhere like 6 months, 1 year. After that, your O-level results has a value, right? It won't be zero. Zero in it. I go through my O-level results. Wherever, even after getting into universities or doing your jobs, this has a value. But not like the earlier. And this is what the golden rule of information is. Right? It says that the value of information along with the time, how the value is applied along with the time. Right? So this is the time, place where the information had been released. Right? Then we like behind that golden rule of information. The next topic. There we light. Golden rule of information. There we light. Is defining a rule. Is defining a rule upon. Is defining a rule upon the information. Upon the information. Focusing onto. Focusing onto the value of. Focusing onto the value of information. Focusing onto the value of information. Right. The next point we'll light. This is a rule, right? This is a rule. Golden rule with the starry light. The value of the information. The value of the information. The value of the information is reducing. The value of the information is reducing along with the time. Along with the time, and make it and make it a constant value after some time, full stop, and continue. For the same point, we'll continue. The highest value of information, the highest value of information is created, highest value of information is created at the time where the information, at the time where the information is released or where the information is prepared, generated, right? Prepared, comma, generated. Fine. If so, shall I take this graph? This is showing the golden rule in a visual manner. Right? Take this as the value of information, and this is a place where the information has been released, and after some time, it will be a constant along with the time. Label the axis and draw the curve. Example, example. Exam results, exam results are information. Exam results are information ඉල්නෝනේ මගේ එවන්න WhatsApp කරන්න. හරි හරි හරි. Example, the exam results are information. The exam results are information which has the highest value, which has the highest value at the time, which has the highest value at the time where it was released. And the value reduces along with the time. And the value reduces along with the time. Right? Now, at the same time, now some other example, not to write. Now, in your school these days, we have sports meeting. Right? Then if your house is winning or whatever the level of your house, isn't that another valuable information? And that heat will be there only for a few days, right? After that, you can't remember whether we had a sport meet or not. Then in that manner, the general idea is information has a value, always that is reducing over the time. Now, just to give you a certain technical analysis on this, say that I'm giving you a graph like this with respect to information. Now, this is a technical idea, right? Now, whatever I explain now, is just very just surface things. I just simply explain things, but the questions coming to the paper will be deeper than that. Now, this is one such angle you have to think of. So that I am giving you a graph with respect to some events. They will produce information. Now, one graph is like this. Right. I'll label this as event A, event B, event C. Right. What about event A? Is this complying with the golden rule of information or not? Event A. Is that matching with golden rule of information or not? It is. A, starting from here higher value, and over the time it reduces and make it constant. Event B complying with event C, all are matching with the golden rule. But the graph is crossing here. Is that a matter? No, they are independent events. You can understand that. Then I'm asking, out of these three events, which event had taken place lately? Last event to be taken place. Which one is it? A, the B, the C, the B, A. Now, this is the time axis, right? And this is the starting point. Now, starting point has to be late, means on the rightmost point. And now, this is the event which has been started lately, the last event to be started. Then which event has the least value? Event C. I value is represented from here, that has the lowest value, highest value is obtained by event B. Right? So likewise, you should be able to analyze the things based on the concept. Concept is this, can be handled in multiple ways. Right? Right. Okay. Then we like further. No time even. Okay, we'll do that on the next day. Then I'll just give this, and then we can revise that with the upcoming people on the next week as well. And then yes, I'll come to that on the next week. Then, right? With this, and then we have some more things to be covered in our data information, especially the data processing life cycle, and many more things are there that were not covered in your O levels. And also there's another part that to be covered, which has been done in your O levels as well, but we have to go in deep. Like I explained, humbly will follow that. Then it would be not a big issue. Right. Then I'll stop from here. Hope to meet you on the next week. And I think what we did is fine for you, right? Okay. Even the online people, I think the things are going well. Right. We'll continue in this manner. See you then. Have a nice day.